Good morning, boys and girls. How are you? I hope you had a great weekend. I had a wonderful weekend. I got some reading done and some knitting done and some household chores done. So everything is good to start the week off. We are going to do one more activity about sequencing where you put things in a certain order, in the right order of how we do things. Now this is a flower story sequence. So we've got 3 boxes and 3 pictures of how we do things, how we plant some seeds and get flowers. So we want to do that in order. Can't be in the right order. Right now I've got, it rains and a little sprout comes up. The flowers are all the way up. And here the sun is shining and I'm planting seeds. So which one of those do you think is going to go in number 1? What would you do first to get some flowers? Yeah, you would plant some seeds, probably on a sunny day. So let me move this to number 1. That's what happens first. What happens second, or number 2? Yes, the sprout is growing and we're getting some rain, and that helps the sprout grow, doesn't it? And the sprout is just the little green part that's coming up right there. You can see it right there. Seeds need sun and soil, which is the same as dirt, and water, whether it's rain from the sky or water from your watering can. And then, of course, this is the easy one, the last one, the third one. Then in the sequence, we get the flowers. There we go. So there's our sequencing. All right. Now then, we're going to do a listening exercise today. And we'll do a couple of these. This is just our first one. And I'm going to read a little story right here. And the title of the story is Banana's Wendy Surprise. Okay, and Banana is a monkey, okay? So I want you to listen to the story, and then I'm going to read some questions, and you're going to decide which one of those pictures is the answer. All right, so do you have your listening ears on? Put them on. Turn them on. You ready? Okay, let's do it. Banana was digging in the sandbox at the park. The wind started to blow. Banana closed his eyes so the sand wouldn't get in them. When Banana opened his eyes, he saw a hat in the sandbox. He was surprised. Then a little girl ran to the sandbox, and she said, "The wind blew my hat away." Now let me read it one more time. Then we will do the questions and the answers. So the title of the story is Banana's Wendy Surprise. Banana was digging in the sandbox at the park. The wind started to blow. Banana closed his eyes so the sand wouldn't get in them. And when Banana opened his eyes, he saw a hat in the sandbox. He was surprised. Then a little girl ran to the sandbox and she said, "The wind blew my hat away." Okay, now do you see these 3 pictures? We've got a swing set, a sandbox, and a slide. Where was Banana digging? The swing set, the sandbox, or the slide? What is the right answer? You're right, he was digging in the sandbox. You cannot dig in a swing set. You cannot dig on a slide, but you can dig in a sandbox, can't you? Okay, now this question right here has a choice of 3. You've got a hat, a butterfly, and a kite. Listen to the question. What was Banana surprised to see in the sandbox? Was it a hat, a butterfly, or a kite? It was a hat, wasn't it? He was surprised. Now we've got a lady, a police officer, and a little girl. Whose hat had blown into the sandbox? Was it the lady? Now she's still got her hat on, doesn't she? Was it a police officer? He's got his hat on. Or was it a little girl? She doesn't have a hat on, does she? That's a clue. But you'll remember that it was a little girl, of course, that said, "My hat blew into the sandbox because of the wind." So it's the little girl. Very good. Now, boys and girls, today is our last letter, and it's the letter Z. That's the uppercase and the lowercase. It looks exactly alike, except one is tall and one is small. It has, let's count the strokes. 1, 2, 3. Let's do the strokes on the little lowercase. 1, 2, 3. So let me get my marker. Can you all tell me what the top line is called? Do you remember? It's the sky, isn't it? And the dotted line in the middle is the fence. And then the bottom line is the ground. Very good. So with the uppercase Z, we're going to go from the sky all the way to the ground. We're going to use that whole space. So watch what I do. I go across at the sky. That's the first stroke. Let me get a little closer with this. Then I'm going to go down at an angle like this, down to the ground. Doesn't that look like the number 7? And that's my favorite number, across the sky and down from heaven. That's the way to make a 7. But we're not done. And we're not even talking about numbers. We're talking about alphabet letters. So that's the second stroke. And then the last stroke is a line back that way. So it was 1, 2, 3. Now let's make the lowercase letter. Remember, I said we're not going to be up in the sky at all with the lowercase. So we're going to start at the fence. We're going to go across. 1, 2, 3. Looks exactly like its uppercase partner, but it goes from the fence to the ground only. Okay, so 3 strokes on that. All right. Very nice. Now what I want you to pretend is that you're a honeybee and your wings are going, let me get here in the middle. Zzz, zzz, zzz. You're a bee and you're buzzing. Zzz, zzz, zzz. Very good. Very good. Okay. Let me move my camera over and I will sit down. All righty. Now then, remember this is the XYZ book, so we're on the last letter here, so we're going to pick up with the letter Z. All right? So little Y, he said, "I'll call my friend little Z and see if she has a box." "I do," said little Z. "I will find things that begin with my Z sound. I will put them into my sound box." She found a zebra. Zebra. And another zebra. And another zebra. Little Z caught 3 zebras. And she tried to put them in her box. But the zebras jumped out of the box. Zip, zip, zip. They're not being cooperative, are they? They ran zigzag down the road. "I will catch you, zippy zebras," called little Z. Zigzag. So instead of running in a straight line, you go this way, then this way, then this way. Zigzag. I love that word. Look at it right here. Zigzag. It's a great word. And she did. Then she took the zebras to the zoo. That starts with a Z. And I have my shirt on today. It has a zipper. Z. Hear the sound? It makes a zipping sound, doesn't it? Maybe you've got a zipper on your shoes or a shirt or your pants. Zipper, or your jacket. Your jacket maybe. So let's see now. All right. In this story, little X placed the letter X in front of the word ray to make the word X-ray. But in some words, little X has the Z sound. Can you read this word with the Z sound? Xylophone. Xylophone. Even though it starts with an X, xylophone. Can you read these words with little Y? Yard, yak, yacht. That's a big fancy boat that sometimes people will live on. Can you read these words with little Z? Zinnia. That's a flower. Zip, zero. Very nice. And see, there are alphabet children. I wish I had all of these books. I just have the X, the Y, and the Z book. I wish I had that whole set. But that's okay. At least I have the one set that has 3 letters in it. That's great, isn't it? That's a good book. Okay. Now we have Zach, the lazy zebra. Now let's look for all the Z's. Zach, lazy zebra. So sometimes the Z is at the beginning of the word, and sometimes it's nestled in the word. Okay, and look, the illustrator wants you to know that he's sleeping, maybe even snoring. He's going zzz, zzz. And this is written by Wendy Lewison and illustrated by Clive Scruton. Okay, so it took 2 people to do this book. Zach the zebra lives at the zoo. All day long, what does Zach do? Looks like he's kind of yawning. Zzz, zzz. He's sleeping, isn't he? The zookeepers bring Zebra a snack, but it doesn't wake up Zach. Zach has no zest, no energy. He wants to rest. Now, this zookeeper brought zucchini. That's a vegetable, zucchini. We had zucchini last night. And this zookeeper brought him some ziti. That's a pasta noodle, and it's a tube. So let me get up close there so you can see the zucchini and the ziti. But Zach didn't want any. My husband, Mr. Schmidt, used to be a zookeeper. Long time ago. He would work at night when the animals were asleep, and his job was to walk around and make sure they were okay. That was kind of a fun job, I think, that he had. They zap Zach with a garden hose. They bang a drum. They tickle his nose. Zach's eyes stay closed. He wants to doze. That's another word for sleep. And the word doze has a Z in it. D-O-Z-E, doze. Zzz, zzz. Boy, they're really trying to wake him up, aren't they? He is very lazy. They try a zillion zany tricks. They hop around on pogo sticks. So they're trying to wake him up, but nothing is working. Zach thinks their tricks are boring. He goes on snoring. Zzz, zzz. We don't know what else to do. Look, here comes Zed, a zebra with zing. Whew, he's got lots of energy. Look at his eyes. Woo! And then look at the color that the illustrator put around it. That's to let you know he's got lots of energy. Okay. He zooms. He zigzags around everything. Look at him. Wow. Will Zed make Zach wake up and leap? I don't know. Let's see. No. Now 2 zebras want to sleep. Zzz, zzz. They're both sleeping now, aren't they? At last, the zookeepers give up their schemes. They wish Zach and Zed sweet zebra dreams. Zzz, zzz. Gonna let them sleep, aren't they? Let's look at these 2 pages and see if we can find some Z pictures, things that start with a Z. So we know we've got zookeepers, and they have zippers on their jackets. See those zippers? And here's the word zoo, Z-O-O, zoo. We have zebras. And at this food stand, they're selling zucchini and ziti. Zucchini and ziti. So there are a few Z things there, aren't there? Very nice. Zach the lazy zebra. Yes, okay. Now, boys and girls, remember I was talking with you last week about butterflies, and I was talking to you especially about a monarch butterfly. These are very special. We don't have too many here in Evansville, but we do have a few, and I will see them in the later months when it gets really hot, like July and August and September. And they like the milkweed plant. They like to lay their eggs on that, so that when their eggs hatch and a caterpillar comes out, it will start to eat it. Now, boys and girls, I took this picture in my yard. Remember I told you I have milkweed plants? Well, that monarch butterfly, laid eggs on this milkweed plant, and this kind of caterpillar, that's a monarch caterpillar, it hatched out of its egg, and right away, look, it started to eat, and it grew big. Look at that. Isn't that neat? So each butterfly has a special look to it, and its caterpillar has a special look to it. So if you ever see a caterpillar that looks like that, that is a monarch butterfly caterpillar. So I was just so thrilled to see this in my yard. I just was so happy, and I knew that hopefully it would go into a chrysalis after it was done eating, and it would come out as a beautiful butterfly. Isn't that one of God's beautiful miracles? To go from this to that. It's beautiful. Remember I said that the moths kind of look like butterflies, but there are some differences. Moths come out at night, so they're nocturnal, and they're attracted to the light. So if you have your front porch light on, or your back porch light on, or the street light is on, you'll see lots of moths flying around them. Butterflies come out during the day. They're like us. We're awake during the day and asleep at night. Butterflies lay eggs, and those eggs hatch into caterpillars. All that is the same with a moth as well. But the caterpillar goes into and makes a chrysalis. The moth makes a cocoon. So there's a difference there. There's a difference. Now, I want to show you, someone last year gave me this thank you card. Isn't it beautiful? And I want you to look at that butterfly. Now, if you were a bird flying on the top, up in the sky, and looking down at that, you would think, whoa, that's something really big. I'm not going to go down and get that. It's really big. It's got a big, huge face. It's bigger than me. God made camouflage like that for these butterflies. It doesn't really have 4 eyes, does it? It's just how God made the wings look to protect the butterflies so that they can protect themselves. It's called camouflage. Isn't that very neat? I love that card. I love it. Okay. Now then, let me see what else we need to do. I think that's all today. We're getting to the end of our lessons. It's kind of making me sad because this is Monday, and then we have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and on Friday, that's going to be my last story reading and lesson. And so I still have some great things that we're going to do, but we have to end this on Friday being our last day. So I'm going to wish you a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, boys and girls.